Hey world, being able to come back live in the garden. Been a while, but man, it's kind of crazy out here. Hope everybody doing good. Um, I'm not gonna be in long. I just wanted to kind of hit on a couple of things. Um, I said a long time ago that pay yourself first and kind of get yourself prepared for this you know economic crash or this recession. I mean, we are already kind of in a recession. Marco, we are already kind of in a recession. So, just kind of like I said, I wasn't playing Nostradamus or anything like that. But, I was saying a while ago, just based on fundamentals, and this is the beautiful thing about it. DJ, what it do? This is the beautiful thing about it. It's never a guessing game. Okay. When I was saying, months ago that, that this market is overvalued, even I was saying last year that the market is overvalued, I was saying that because, fundamentals, market capitalization, the GDP, and how long it's been this market been such a boom market for so long. What goes up goes down, And so I just thought that was kind of crazy that something of this caliber, like the coronavirus, don't you think it's interesting that they don't call it the coronavirus now? They call it some COVID-19. You know, do you know why they call it that? Because that kind of takes the stigma off of coronavirus. Because remember, coronavirus has been around a long time. I mean, it's actually in the Encyclopedia of Medicine, which was back in 1984. So it's been around. I mean, you can see it on Lysol cans back in the day. So we know it's something that's not something new. So to give it more of the fear factor that it's giving everybody now, they had to change the name. And I knew it was something that was going to precipitate this crash. I didn't think they was going to do something of this magnitude, a pandemic. Uh, yeah, I'm feeling better, man. I had a headache. I'm doing much better now. Thanks, Javin. Had some sinuses and whatnot, but I'm feeling better now. But like I was saying, you know, this pandemic, which they just made it a pandemic, is basically something that's international. I guess the whole world is being affected by this. Now, from a common sense standpoint, you have to kind of ask yourself. I mean, if it's similar to the flu, right? Then we don't have a flu test over here in America. Neither do we have a cold test. I mean, you don't go to the doctor and say, I need to be tested for a cold or I need to be tested for the flu, right? So it's kind of disingenuous to think that they have a test for like something called a coronavirus, which is a respiratory type of, infection, type of virus, right? So keep that in mind. And yeah, okay, all right. Just don't let it happen again. Okay, so keep that in mind, family. This stuff is kind of crazy. All the schools are out in Houston. I'm down in H-Town, and they've closed starting tomorrow. All the school districts in Houston, and Houston is a pretty big city, and we have way more than several districts, big districts here. And the district I work in, of course, is closed tomorrow as well. So what they're basically telling me is that we're gonna probably be out 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks is going to basically kind of give everybody the opportunity to what I guess they would be calling self quarantine. Okay, but keep your common sense. Keep your wits about yourself, because I promise you, this is not something that I think is what they're saying it is. I mean, when you look at what's going on, and you got the homeless people, and you got the veterans, and you got these, the elderly people, and these senior citizen retirement homes. They concerned about closing sports. They concerned about, ending, what is it, the March Madness, college basketball tournament. That stuff isn't important. You got to really ask yourself, if this pandemic is as serious as they say it is, why haven't they mentioned anything about the homeless? We have, for 500,000 homeless people in America, right? And so what are they going to do about that, right? And you know that if they saying this is a pandemic and it's as serious as they say it is, then you would think they'd be kind of eradicating, trying to find ways to help the homeless in this particular situation. That's interesting. Okay, so kind of look at things from more of a common sense standpoint. Remember, this market's crashing, so it's already since February 19th, 2019, has dropped 20%. Now, what does that mean? Those that have a 401k, I would really check your 401ks because you probably lost some money right about now. And that's why I titled this real news and fake news. I mean, the real news is if you're looking at your 401k, you're probably gonna take a hit. And so you want to probably go in and try to reallocate, or if you're over 59 and a half years old, you probably want to, transfer that 401k, roll that over to an IRA to protect your money. Because, I mean, right now, remember, what's a 401k? It's a retirement plan that's based on you giving contributions of your own money so that some other company can invest it in the stock market. And they say mutual funds, but that's all mutual funds are, the stock market. Companies, equities, assets, okay? Which, if it's going up, yeah, your 401k is going to do well. But when it go down, you're going to lose money, all right? And so that's the real news. This fake news is this coronavirus and how, it's becoming a pandemic. I just think it's quite interesting that, you have over 100 countries experiencing this all at once, right? You mean to tell me other countries don't have other things they have going on, other major medical issues they have going on, right? Fake news is this travel ban that Trump has instituted for leaving the country and coming into the country. All those countries except England. Now that's interesting as well. So you kind of really gotta, look at things for what they are. If you're in the garden, then I'm basically telling you about how this particular situation can really help you increase your financial wealth when the market crashes. Remember, the last time they had a pandemic like this was in 1918, with something called the Spanish flu. All right. And what happened after the 1918? What happened after the pandemic? The Great Depression. You did? And what have we been in the last 12, 13 years? We've been in the most lucrative stock market in reference to valuations ever. I mean, people's 401ks have just risen, right? But guess what? What goes up must come down. And so I would definitely make sure you check your 401ks and check your retirement plans. Let me reiterate, if you're over the age of 59 and a half years old, I would definitely try to roll that over to an IRA, all right? Because, I mean, the only ones that get really hurt in that particular situation when it comes to such a market recession is people who's hardworking, trying to put money back for retirement, and then have to deal with a situation where, out of your control, the market crashes. And remember, this isn't something that's by accident. This is something that's, actually, contrived. I mean, I thought it was interesting. I was just hearing something today about this writer named Dean Koontz. And Dean Koontz actually wrote a book in 1981 called The Eyes of Darkness. And in this book, it basically predicted in 2020 the coronavirus was going to spread. Okay? Now, you got to ask yourself, and I don't believe in coincidences, okay? And that's why I titled it again, it's real news and fake news. And thank you so much, guys, for joining me in the garden. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you had an opportunity, make sure you push that like button, okay? Cowboy Chris, what up? No doubt, all right? As I was saying, I mean, there are no coincidences. And so Dean Koontz wrote a book in 1981 entitled Eyes of Darkness. And in this book, on page 312, there's a paragraph, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, in around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness was spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself would be the fact that it would suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived. Attack again 10 years later, and then disappear completely. Okay? That's in the Dean Koontz book, Eyes of Darkness, written in 1981. Come on now. There are no coincidences. All right? And that's why I say, it's hypocrisy over humanity. The fact that they can run these type of psyops and not have the compassion for the homeless. And I hate to keep reiterating, but I mean, you guys, if you live in cities like Houston, I mean, if you live in California, if you live in big cities where the homeless people are, I mean, just imagine what they're going through right now. And then, of course, the senior citizens in these facilities. And I would definitely like to understand how you have 5 or 6 senior citizens, transition over the coronavirus, but then they say, but also underlying medical conditions. See, that's disingenuous. If it's an underlying medical condition and someone is in a nursing home, what are they? Because see, then that'll dictate whether or not they actually died of the coronavirus or died of underlying medical conditions. But remember, they didn't have the test out back then. So how did they know? You did? Real news versus fake news. Okay? And so, like I say, the stock market has dropped 20% since February 19, 2019 to March 11th. It's dropped 20%. Now, what does that mean? If your 401k had $1 million in it, okay, back in February 2019, then right now it's only sitting on 800,000. If it's indeed, which most 401ks are equity heavy, meaning a lot of your money is being contributed to a lot of these different stocks. And the main stocks basically being contributed to would be what they call the FANG stocks. And FANG, that's Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Okay? And so these are the big dogs. And I promise you, probably 80 to 90% of all you guys out there that have 401ks or 403bs or 457s have money invested in those companies and other companies. And so remember, if the market is crashing, you're losing your money, you won't get that back. And especially if you're an older. So check your 401ks. That's the real news right there. See, that's the thing they're not talking about. And like you say, Cowboy Chris, I definitely agree with you. It's all prefabricated because there are no coincidences. All right. And I think it's hypocrisy over humanity when you think of the whole notion. And remember, a lot of this, this COVID-19 stuff have so many people petrified and such full of fear. Remember, like I said in my last live, when people believe absurdities, they commit the worst atrocities. Now, I noticed over 70% of United States citizens, in case of a $500 or $600 emergency, will be in a tough situation. And here you have something of this nature having you go out and spend all your money on toilet tissue, paper towels, hand sanitizer, and water. Uncharacteristically. K. Waller Pimp, what'd it do? If that's what you normally buy, I can dig it. But just, little food for thought, hand sanitizer not killing nothing. You got to wash your hands with soap and water. You dig? All hand sanitizer is going to do is dry out your skin. Okay? So right along, you have this, the cognitive dissonance and people not really understanding that, hey, wait a minute. 13 people in the whole United States and it's the China code. And there's no test for the cold here. There's no test for the flu here. So, what's the big panic? Like I said before, it happened in 1918 with the Spanish flu. Okay, and what happened after that? The Great Depression. So, family, it's gonna be a great opportunity. It's gonna be some great opportunities out there, man, to make some money because with this particular situation, like I said, in H-Town right now, they just shut down all the school districts. We don't have school. And they're going to probably have us out a couple of weeks. They just shut down NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey. Now, what does that mean? All these companies, they're going to lose value. And so it's going to be great opportunities out there. So pay yourself first. Do your research, okay? Dividend stocks is where it's going to be at. So don't be in a hurry. I have friends right now, dropped, almost 6,000 points, and they're already trying to jump in the market. No, it's too early. Okay, because now they done bought something, right? And then like yesterday, bam, it dropped. So it's like, they lost money. Got to be patient in these type of situations because in these type of situations, the people that's running this PSYOP, they have an idea how long this thing is going to take. I told you, go read the book by Dean Koontz, Eyes of Darkness, that was written in 1981. Page 312. It talks about in 2020 how they would have this pneumonia type of flu that was going to take over the world. And then as soon as it came, it would be gone. Okay? Travel ban all over the United States. Travel ban overseas. You can't go overseas, but you can go to England. Okay? Texas, Alabama boy, Johnson & Johnson. No doubt. Oh, come on, man. I mean, I'm looking at the Costco and the Walmart and the HEBs, the shelves of you know, these hand sanitizer and toilet paper. Are you serious? But ain't nobody touch the vegetables or fruits, you know, stuff that's healthy for us. Okay, so these people are really laughing, but I'm telling you, in the garden, you know what time it is. Anytime you have the World Health Organization coming into and saying it's a global pandemic, what's the World Health Organization? They're supposed to be helping other countries that are disenfranchised that don't have the monies to pay for medication and so forth to help them. Well, if the World Health Organization is not helping Haiti, not helping Puerto Rico, not helping Sudan, not helping, Venezuela, why they worry about the coronavirus? And once again, real news versus fake news. How is it that over 100 countries suffering the same flu at the same time? Okay, so $8.5 billion that they agreed to fight this virus. 8.5 billion. Now remember, that's taxpayer money. So why aren't you paying yourself first? Okay, because I promise you're gonna be some great opportunities. I was just checking out Ford stock, and it's at $5 and something. Ford was at like $12, $13 not too long ago. Okay, GE is down. Okay, so don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Hold tight, because there's gonna be some great opportunities out there. And once again, please check your 401k. Hey, Yella, no doubt. James, what it do? There's no more toilet paper. Come on, you right? No, there's more toilet paper. Don't get it twisted. Remember, you can't believe it's a half psyop. You got to understand it's a full psyop. So when the shelves are empty, I promise you, there's going to be some more toilet paper out there. They got it. Okay? Remember, China, Russia, Japan, Germany, England, all of these countries, it's one world order. And so what we need to do, because your common sense, you can't be cognitively dissonant. You have to know that it's crazy for them not to, I hate to be redundant, but it's crazy for them not to address, those out there that can't take care of themselves. So, I mean, the governor of California was talking about coronavirus, but he wasn't mentioning nothing about the homeless people there, and they got way more people homeless than anybody. Also, too, what is 38 states have legalized marijuana in it? You see anybody talking about releasing all of those nonviolent offenders that are locked up in jail, locked up in prison right now? Anybody talking about that? See what I'm saying? These Afro-melanated politicians, don't fall for. There's no such thing as race, but there is such thing as hypocrisy. And how is it that legislations have not been written to release all of these nonviolent offenders that were locked up for marijuana? You got a lot of states that's legal. You did? But then you can look at Blagojevich, DeBartolo, some senator named, some Illinois governor, this other guy. These are guys that President Trump had pardoned, got them out of jail, right? But the thousands and thousands of people in jail right now, for marijuana, I just think that's very disingenuous and pretty hypocritical too, right? And so, like I say, it's tough out there, but it's not tough out there for those that are conscious. Remember, there's a big saying by all of these rich billionaires, when there's blood in the street, stay calm, all right? Stay calm, because I promise you, this has been happening from day one. You had to have an opportunity to crash this market. And my partner, G, what's up, G, big ups, he was telling me that the Federal Reserve was just about to, install another repo. What's a repo? Well, they interject money into this economy. Remember, the Federal Reserve also just lowered interest rates by 50 basis points. Now, see, that's the fake news. You lower interest rates by 50 basis points, but what you don't say is that that's affecting people's money. I mean, your savings account, these high interest, these high yield savings accounts that offering over 2%, 1.8%, well, guess what? They lower their interest rates. And so that tells you if they're lowering their interest rates, then all these other interest rates are going to be lower too at these banks. So your saving account is going to be taking a hit. You dig? Mortgage rates are low right now. So, I mean, it'd be a great opportunity if you You want to refinance your crib and get some change to get ready for this crash because, I mean, the mortgage interest rates are very, very low. I mean, the lowest it's been in a long time. But that's the trick, okay? But you have to take advantage of the situation. You know, there are ways that you can take advantage of these situations where you come out on top. See, fear is not going to do it. Well, no, Ella, actually, that's a great point. I was thinking about that myself, and so I checked into it. And what Ella was saying, something about they're not closing down the casinos. Now, I know they're not all the way closed in Louisiana, but I just heard that the MGM and a couple of big ones in Las Vegas are supposed to be shutting down the events. They ain't saying nothing about closing the casinos, but they just said something about, canceling events. See, that's hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy. You dig? Yeah, that's what's up, Ella. Growing your own food, no doubt. No doubt. Because I promise you, fruit don't taste the way it used to taste back in the day. It's GMO, all right? And so instead of spending all your money on these hand sanitizers and stuff like that, family, I don't fall for it. I mean, this stuff is gonna come and go. You think they're gonna shut down stores? You think they're gonna eliminate all the goods and services that people are gonna go out and buy every day anyway? They're not. This is for the markets to crash. Okay, so don't get caught up in this madness. I mean, how serious can you make, a pandemic when less than 20 people done died? I mean, how serious can you make it? And how hypocritical do you have to be when you know there's over like 16, almost 17,000 people done died of the flu in 2020? And y'all talking about the coronavirus? See, that's the disingenuity that I be tripping on. That's that cognitive dissonance, right? I mean, you got over 16,000 people that died of the flu, and we're talking about the coronavirus, huh? Right? So that's kind of, the real news versus fake news is something you really got to take in consideration, all right? Fella, I just want to come in and say a little bit about that. I'm in H-Town. I think they said they had like 30 tests a day. We got like 5 million people here in H-Town. They just shut down all the school districts. And they're doing 30 tests a day. You did? All right? So, no doubt, Jesus. I like that. False evidence appearing real. Oh, man. See? That's a Willie boy right there. I love that. Fear, the acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real. Can't put no better than that, Jesus. Can't put no better than that. And like I said, that falls into that cognitive dissonance, family. But family, like I say, pay yourself first. All right? Don't fall for this nonsense. Drink your water, yes, but eat some fruits and vegetables too. All right? And like I say, man, should pray for the homeless, man. This is ridiculous. All right? This is I mean, I just can't even fathom it that we're in a pandemic state of emergency and less than 100 people done died. But thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people done died of the flu. Right? Something else is going on. All right? So pay yourself first, family. Don't fall for the nonsense. I really appreciate you guys joining me. It's spring break for us. So I'll be coming back in the garden every day now. So make sure you join me, family. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High inside to bring you joy. Being with us 95,000.